Introduction. Early in my training, a patient said something that really shook me up. I used to think I didn't like to read because I was stupid, he told me. Now I realize it was a problem with my eyes. The man was 50 years old. He'd had an eye movement condition since childhood. After the condition was treated, his whole life changed. And after that encounter, my life changed too. His words really woke me up to optometry's potential. I realized that the biggest impact I could have as an optometrist was not simply to check eye health and help people see clearly, but to help them learn to use their visual system in the best way possible. Now, when people hear the word optometrist, they usually think of a letter chart at the end of the room and a new pair of glasses. Fair enough, but being able to see street signs in the distance or the small print up close is just one aspect of vision. A properly functioning visual system depends on so much more. My work in optometry now concentrates on the communication between the eyes and the brain and what you can do to get the various parts working together more effectively. Our visual skills develop throughout childhood, mostly through interactions with the world around us, and those skills continue to be tweaked over our lifetime. But some of us, for whatever reason, do not develop all the skills we need. Others lose some of those skills after a head injury. So whether the skills didn't develop properly in the first place or you had them taken away, when your visual skills are impaired, you are operating at a huge disadvantage. It's as though everyone around you is riding a well-tuned bike, but yours has a bent wheel. So it's not surprising that you're not riding as well as others, or that you can't ride for as long. Maybe it causes discomfort, or maybe you can't really ride the bike at all. Chances are you don't enjoy bike riding very much. Your visual system is extremely important. About 50% of the brain is involved in processing vision. The visual system is not just about seeing, it also plays a major role in things like balance, attention, and communication. When your visual system is working poorly, it can contribute to headaches, dizziness, clumsiness, and even learning disabilities. The problem is that, as an individual, you only have experience with the visual system you've been living with. So how can you be expected to know if it's not working right? You can't imagine seeing the world in any other way than the way you've been seeing it. Although people who used to have well-functioning visual systems but have had them damaged through injury have an advantage here. They know what things should be like. So a child who sees words moving on the page might not think to mention it because it seems normal to her. A man who's never been able to catch a baseball might think he's slow. Like that 50-year-old patient, you may just assume that you're not smart or not coordinated or not trying hard enough. But what if we could straighten out that misshapen bicycle wheel, lubricate the gears, inflate the tires a bit? This is what we are trying to do using vision therapy and the right lenses to get whatever bike you're riding into the best shape possible. I didn't start out knowing I wanted to do vision therapy, or even that I wanted to be an optometrist. In fact, I got all the way through optometry school and had started to practice before I realized I wasn't content doing routine optometry. It seemed like all I did was measure people's prescriptions and confirm that the health of the eyes was still fine. I felt like a prescription generator, although to be fair, I didn't realize at the time how powerful the right one could be. I knew I wanted more. Maybe it was because I came to optometry via engineering. I started a general engineering degree at the University of Victoria in British Columbia and did 2 more years of science there before I found my way into optometry at the University of Waterloo in Ontario. My strength is in applying knowledge, taking information and quickly putting it into practical, meaningful use. There was a place for an optometrist like me. It just wasn't the regular place. When I first heard of vision therapy, I thought it was complete quackery, but the more I dug into it, the more appealing it became. It wasn't clear-cut. It involved tinkering, trial and error, invention. I had to go deep into the system design of how our visual brain works, and I found that extremely exciting. Working in vision therapy drew on all my strengths, and it rewarded me with the knowledge that I was really having an impact on people's lives. Your visual system is important in so many ways. When it doesn't quite work right, the repercussions can be enormous. Take reading. It may seem like a perfectly natural activity, but in fact it's extremely complex. Many people learn to read relatively easily, but many others struggle to do so. About 80% of all problem readers have visual issues, and these often go undetected and untreated. Not being able to read in today's world is absolutely devastating. Before I did vision therapy, I never believed I could do anything post-secondary, says Anna. You'll meet her in Chapter 1, which looks at how vision therapy can help with reading and learning problems. When she first came to my office, Anna was in grade 11. She was very intelligent and well-spoken, but she could not really read. She had tried everything the school system had offered and more, but sadly, nothing had really helped. This was because her vision was the underlying problem. By the time I met her, she was pretty much resigned to not continuing her studies after high school. After about a year of vision therapy, though, her aspirations had changed. Her visual system worked properly, so she could finally learn to read, and she did. She began to contemplate higher education. In fact, Anna is now in college. Think about how your eyes move through text. Ideally, they will move quickly from word to word, in unison, and in the right direction. But some people's eyes, like Anna's, jump around the page when they try to read. I have met kids who actually read words backwards, from the last letter to the first, or in a completely random order. No wonder they can't recognize a word they just learned 3 lines earlier. These people typically have no idea anything strange is happening. That's just how they read. But I use a device that tracks the eyes to record what they are doing while a person reads, and this can tell me a lot about how accurately their eyes move through a paragraph and whether their 2 eyes are working together as a team. Some kids find it extremely frustrating not to be able to interpret the visual world properly. A fair number of my patients, once they get the hang of reading, and once they get their eyes working better, also change the way they behave. Remember that broken bicycle? Imagine I told you that you had to compete in a tough race on that crappy bike. How do you think you would feel? Would you feel excited? Anxious? Do you think that you would tire out more quickly? Would you put up a fight over having to do it at all? That's what it was like for Jared, who was 8 years old when he came in for help. Jared reacted explosively whenever he was asked to read. It was probably easier for him to fight than to actually do the homework that his eyes simply didn't know how to do. After vision therapy, to the surprise of his mom and dad, that all changed. Their angry, explosive, low self-esteem son became calmer and stopped hating himself. You'll meet him in chapter 2. Like Anna, Samuel didn't believe he would ever read. In his case, all the experts around him didn't believe it either, and they told him so. Samuel had autism spectrum disorder and a number of other developmental diagnoses. Everyone just assumed the diagnoses explained the lack of reading. That's all too common. Well, Samuel's reading now, and playing tennis. Read about Samuel and his 3 siblings in chapter 3. You have 2 eyes, and they are meant to be used together. You have to keep them simultaneously lined up, no matter how you move your head. The brain also has to simultaneously process the information from the separate channels of your individual eyes to perceive things like depth. But what happens when you have an accident that interrupts all that? In chapter 4, you will hear the stories of a few of my patients who suffered head injuries and lost a lot of their visual function, but worked hard to get it back. With head injury, sometimes people don't believe you are really ill, which is almost worse than the illness itself. James, for instance, injured on a boat, was accused of faking his symptoms. Ironically, one of the challenges of visual problems is that they are often invisible to most standard testing. James not only fought to get his visual abilities back, he also fought for, and won, recognition of those injuries and the need for his insurer to pay for him to get better. A common issue after head injury is dizziness, but some people develop dizziness even without a blow to the head. In chapter 5, you'll meet 2 people who suffered from dizziness that seemed to come from nowhere. As in James's case, some people had a hard time believing the problem was real. Abby, a 14-year-old figure skater, suddenly became so dizzy she couldn't walk without holding on to her mom. She was told by a doctor that if she could do her eyeliner as well as she had, she couldn't be suffering from vertigo. Talk about adding insult to injury. I was able to determine that Abby's visual system was the cause of her vertigo-type symptoms, and undeterred, Abby worked hard at vision therapy and got better. She's now back to an active life of skating, plus the running, jumping, and dancing demands of intense musical theater. I am also proud to help athletes who are already stellar but want to be even better. Goalies, batters, football players, race car drivers, you'd be amazed at how a well-tuned visual system can up your game. At my clinic, we develop customized, challenging programs to help athletes take their visual system and their accuracy, speed, and overall performance to a whole new level. Read about visual systems in sport in chapter 6. Our visual systems play a huge role in our ordinary lives, much more than we may think. Vision therapy can help people like Kendra, who is just having trouble working at her computer for extended periods, or Janice, who had suffered from migraines for all of her adult life. You'll meet them in chapter 7, where I explain the general ergoptics, the practice of using carefully prescribed lenses to alter incoming information, and how it can be used to alleviate many everyday problems. Vision therapy is not easy. It is not for everyone. Each of the stories I tell in this book are about people who made a huge commitment and worked extremely hard, both in my office and at home. Very often, they felt a lot worse before they started to feel better, but in each and every case, they did get better, which in some instances started out as an impossible dream. At my clinic, we deal with eye health, but our main work is all about vision therapy and prescribing lenses to improve visual function. Patients come to me only after they have had certain things either diagnosed or ruled out. Problems related to the anatomical health of the eye, for instance, to neck issues or inner ear troubles. We can work on these things concurrently, but I only treat vision. My initial examination looks at things like how your eyes work together, how well you can focus, how well your eyes track, and if your visual and vestibular systems integrate properly. I will also ask about your history. What problems have you had, and for how long have you had them? How is it a problem for you? It all lasts about an hour. I'm a firm believer that all testing should have a specific purpose and should only be done if it will give useful information. From there, we discuss a course of action. Some people just need to be monitored. Others need things I don't offer, like surgery. Maybe you need different lenses, or maybe you need a course of vision therapy. We talk about all the options and combinations of options. Doing vision therapy is like giving your eyes and brain the chance to rewrite the instructions on their working relationship. It's as though you have all of these index cards in your brain somewhere, and they contain complex instructions for how to do things. You probably don't give a thought to picking a spoon up off the table, but at one point in your life, probably when you were a baby, you did. You concentrated and you learned. Now, it's entirely unconscious, but you're still following those instructions. Same deal for tying your shoelaces, catching a baseball, or driving your car. But what if your instructions for catching that ball have always been off just a little bit? In the process of practicing and mastering visual skills through repetition and feedback, we are able to rework the faulty index cards until they are written correctly. My team and I design an individual program to retrain your eyes and brain. It involves working one-on-one with the same vision therapist for an hour every week and working at home on your own for at least 5 other days that week. I oversee and manage the whole process, planning and checking in with you every few weeks. I also make sure you have the lenses that give you the best possible efficiency. Like I said, our program is not for the faint of heart. Vision therapy isn't without its challenges. Like teaching or physiotherapy, there are many different approaches, and some are more effective than others. I can't tell you how many people have told me that they've tried vision therapy and it didn't work. Some people did meaningless exercises without proper feedback, which is a critical part of the learning process. Others were simply parked in front of a computer screen and told to play generic games, or they were never prescribed the right lenses. Real vision therapy is so much more than that. Some argue that vision therapy doesn't work, and I acknowledge that there are ineffective vision therapy approaches out there. But do you stop going to school because of one bad teacher? We are living in an era where the true potential of vision therapy is only starting to be understood. I too emerged from optometry school with a deep skepticism about the field, mostly passed down from professors' opinions and an outdated understanding of vision. Once I understood the neurology behind visual function and actually read the research, I could no longer ignore it. Vision therapy works. It's a training regimen, a reprogramming, a fresh chance to get your brain on track. It gives your brain new strategies for understanding and using vision. Ergoptics works too. It's a way to use lenses to make the world out there and the world you perceive in your brain come into alignment. No matter what else is going on with your body or mind, you will be doing better when your visual system is working better. It's not that everything will be perfect. Nothing ever is, but believe me, you will be in a better place than where you are now.